In Bahrain, we await the report of the Independent Commission of Inquiry into the unrest in February and March, which has been deferred until the 23rd of November. This report is a major opportunity and important test for the Bahraini government to show they take their human rights obligations seriously and will adhere to international standards. We stand ready to help them implement recommendations from the report. In the meantime, we continue to encourage the authorities to address allegations of human rights abuses that are reportedly still occurring and remain of great concern.
I welcome the fact that the Foreign Secretary has given a more substantive update on the situation in Bahrain today in this statement than was given in his previous statement. In our last exchange on the issue, the Foreign Secretary accepted that national dialogue has not yet been successful in bringing everybody together in Bahrain. Given his statement today that reports of human rights abuses are still being reported, can the Foreign Secretary give his assessment of whether the prospects for national dialogue have now improved? In his last statement, the Foreign Secretary also said, "We attach great importance to the publication of the report of the Independent Commission of Inquiry into human rights abuses." At that time, he said he expected the report on the 30th of October, but that has now been pushed back to the 23rd of November. Can he explain why? And will he commit today to setting out the British Government's reaction in a written or oral statement to this House when that report is finally published?
On Bahrain, an assessment of whether the national dialogue will lead to success is again difficult to give, because I think some honest efforts have been made to reinforce and carry out that dialogue, but they have certainly not yet produced general agreement in Bahrain on the way forward. He asked me to explain why the report of the Commission of Inquiry had been delayed. Well, that's a matter for the Bahraini government rather than for me to explain, but I hope it signals, well, one can take it as good news or bad news, I hope it signals that this is going to be a serious report when it is published on the 23rd of November. Certainly the composition of the inquiry suggests that its members will want to produce a very serious report, and that's why I think we should attach great importance to it. He asked whether, when it is reported, we would give the government's reaction in a statement of whatever kind, including a written statement. We will certainly do that.
Thank you. Can the Foreign Secretary agree that all women doctors should now be released from Bahraini prisons? All our parliamentary colleagues in Bahrain should be able to resume their functions, and all those ministers who sanctioned torture a few months ago should be placed on trial. We don't really need to wait for a whitewash report before, I hope, he could just say yes to all 3 points.
Well, we do want human rights to be fully respected in Bahrain. And I think it's wrong, actually, of the Right Honourable Gentleman to say in advance of that report that it is a whitewash report. We'll be able to see whether it is or not. We'll be able to form our own judgment about that. But I think it's wrong for him to form his judgment of that before its publication. So it is best to respond to these things after the publication. And we will continue, of course, in the meantime, to advocate to the Bahraini government the maximum respect which we would expect in this country for the human rights of their citizens.